Hola, mi gente. It's so good to be here with you today. Our next guest is Michelle de la Isla, the first Latina mayor of Topeka, Kansas. As a mayor, she has focused on economic development, equity, and infrastructure improvements for her city and its residents. Mayor de la Isla, thank you so much for joining us today y bienvenida.
Mil gracias. Gracias por tenerme aquí. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy to meet you because I love women like you who are just somewhere that I haven't met getting it done. And so, of course, my first question is an easy one. What led you to public office?
It was actually serving and working with a young population and having experience working with the socioeconomically disadvantaged individuals. I started noticing that as we were trying to do downtown redevelopment in our community, we were having struggles hearing every voice. Mm-hmm. And they tackled me to try to get the voice of young people involved in the process. And after several years of trying, they were not the significant catalyst, but the night that we had a young girl, Latina girl, speak, telling the council that downtown sucked and that if we didn't do something about it, they were all going to leave, we ended up getting the money that we needed for downtown revitalization.
Wow.
So I fell in love. I fell in love with the ability of connecting people to the problems, understanding root cause, and helping people that typically don't have a voice with stakeholders.
So many people would say that you were someone who once didn't have a voice or who took a while to find your voice. Can you walk us through a little bit of what that journey was like for you?
Absolutely. I became homeless when I was 17. I ran away from home. I was homeless till the age of 20 when I became pregnant with my son. I then re-enrolled in college with the hope that I was going to get support for my healthcare with my son. It was singing at church and getting my life back together that I was told to leave Puerto Rico to go to Kansas, where I got finally my degree from Wichita State University. So there were many circumstances where I was trying to get back on my feet, that the system was just not working for me. And I think that from that and from seeing that experience, not just in myself, but most importantly in other young people that looked like me and had stories that resonated to mine, I felt this really big burden of trying to figure out how to ensure that everybody felt like they had a voice.
So I imagine that many of those experiences came with you to the mayor's office. Can you talk to me about how your Latinidad and that rich background has shown up for you in your work?
I love la palabra Latinidad.
Because it's in there. It's in our DNA.
Yeah, el sabor is what I would call it, el sabor. I think that what comes with me that many leaders may not have is that experience hands-on of what it is not to have and not to have a voice and not to be heard. And the fact that people automatically make assumptions when you don't live in speak in a certain fashion. People don't expect for me to open up my mouth and sound the way that I do. And it's the most condescending thing that I hear on a regular basis. So my leadership style is very much focused on the value, the inherent value that every single human has. And especially making sure that those who don't feel that are listened to or understood feel like they can come to me and have a person that will listen, that will understand, and will advocate, regardless of the salary that they make. So it's the other thing that I think that is very Latina is the cariñito, right? It's like the mira, corazón, let me make you some coffee. Are you in the office and you want some water? Mira, let me take care of you. And those are things that are very much from our culture that I think that, like in the city of Topeka, everybody knows my hugs, right? And you want to talk about Latinidad. That's us, right? We say hi to each other con un besito en el cachete. So I think that all of those experiences and the humility of knowing that income doesn't define your worth is what makes my leadership style very different.
I love all of that. I'm also a big believer that you can lead wherever you are. Right? So you don't have to necessarily be in an elected office. You could be anywhere and be leading. And so I'd love to get your perspective on what lessons you've learned as you have grown into the leadership ranks that people can apply anywhere to their own leadership.
Absolutely. Look, you don't have to have a mayor's title. You don't have to have a CEO title in order for you to be a leader. Many of the most impactful leaders are individuals that are right there in their communities, taking care of their neighbor, taking care of your family, taking care of your own personal life. You're a leader wherever you're at. And one of the things that I love to, remind people of is that you specifically have a gift that I don't have, and you are doing something that is impactful. Take ownership of it, understand where your value comes from, understand how you add value to your community, and make sure that you are not shy about sharing your gifts with your community. You have the potential to change lives. Just make sure that you are being conscious of where your gifts are, and just please don't hold back.
So one example from your own life is the Hermanitas, which you are a founding member of. So tell us about that, because that is really leadership in action at a very local level.
Well, let's backtrack. So Mana National worked with Harvard and did a research that showed them that Latina girls were not graduating, as well as most other girls, especially Caucasian girls. So Mana National, as an organization, developed the Hermanitas mentorship program. When I went to the Mana National Conference, and then we came back all excited about, wow, this is great. Why don't we start looking for strong Latina women who are going to invest in at-risk girls? What we started finding is that many of the at-risk girls were Spanish-speaking. Many of the at-risk girls did not connect with the Latina women that have been successful. So we were not having as much success. So what Dr. Kim Morse and I did was that we developed a different type of model for the conference, and we capitalized on the fact that Kim works at Washburn University, and we started a model of bringing all of the schools into Washburn so that our girls could hear the stories of a very impactful Latina that would be willing to share her journey of struggle. Because I think that a lot of people look at me right now with the pearls, with the nice hair, and this is blow dried, by the way. This is not natural by any means. But they see me, right? You're laughing because you know the struggle. It's real, right?
Listen, are you looking over here?
Yes, I know. My hair looks a lot like yours. So guess what happens? They look at me like this and they're like, oh, she's so polished. Her life must have been great. And what we do is that we bring real stories of struggle, of overcoming, and then we give the girls these tools. We even invented a game called A Teen's Journey, in which we have things as crazy as, hey, you landed here, flip a coin, you were texting and driving, you're dead. And then at the end, we have like this debrief and talking about, okay, so what did you learn here? How did this mimic life? What's your takeaway? So it's a great program, absolutely. And you would have never imagined. I mean, Kim and I came up with the game having wine. So absolutely, you could leave wherever, even when you're having wine with your girlfriends.
Oh, Mayor de la Isla, you and I will have wine one day and share some stories. Yes. Absolutely. All right, well, we have an audience question for you. It's from Hassan Shah. So let's take a listen.
Hi, my name is Hassan Shah. I run the Grassroots Advocacy and Member Engagement Program at the Advanced Medical Technology Association. And I'm married to a Latina and I'm Pakistani myself. My question for you all is, I have 4 daughters, and as a father, what can I say or do to help my girls reach their potential and succeed at what they want to accomplish? Thank you, and have a great day.
So what do you say?
That's a beautiful question. The first thing that I will tell you is going to be a little bit counterintuitive, but you need to love mom in a way that makes your daughters understand that the value that you are giving and the respect that you're giving your mom is their mom is what they should expect of everybody else. Our children are constantly watching what we are doing. I just had a call yesterday with my daughter. I always tell her about the power of integrity and staying true to yourself. And yesterday she had a moment in which it came back, but she has seen me live that. So the best thing that you could do is speak to your daughters in a way that you empower them to be able to achieve. You open up their mind to dream, figure out a way that you can support their activities and be their biggest cheerleader. But most importantly, model that behavior of empowerment with your wife, because those are going to be the connections that are going to last for them much more than what you're going to say to them.
Oh, preach. I just want to say thank you for that, because it's not that complicated, right? Being there, leading where you are, really making an example is really not that complicated. So, Mayor de la Isla, what a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so, so much.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.
Mayor de la Isla is a really great friend of the Hill. I mean, she's really something, isn't she? She's pretty darn awesome, Juleyka. Thank you for that great interview.
Love her.